Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy Father's Day
Solstice.
and happy Juneteenth weekend.
Yeah, lots to celebrate.
Yes, and we're also here on our Sunday celebration, celebrating the gift of you. So thank you for joining us. We want to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service here at Unity of Fort Collins, where we believe that everyone is a part of the divine, that no matter where you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And you might not even have a spiritual path. And guess what?
You're still welcome.
That's right. So we just want to thank you for your presence with us. Whenever you've tuned in, you might be celebrating one of the events that we just mentioned. And yet the great thing about technology is that you have an opportunity to tune into our service. And we are doing live services now. So you may have wanted to rehear the service, and because it's been recorded, pre-recorded, then you have that opportunity. So just thank you for your presence. We are grateful. We are grateful, and we are grateful. Our unity vision statement is that we are centered in love, inspired by spirit. Therefore, we awaken, we connect, and we thrive. That's right. And we believe that for everyone. We have a mission statement as well. Our mission here at Unity of Fort Collins is that we are creating a loving space and a community that feels safe, where everyone is supported to learn and to grow and to participate in an awakening world. That's what we're signed up for, and that's what we have as our mission. So thank you for your presence here today. We have so much to be grateful for. Our outstanding co-minister, Reverend Divine, is giving the talk today. And by the way, I'm Reverend Liz. We are thankful for Faith Rivera for her presence in our guest music, Lori Stark for doing our inspirational reading, and for the man behind the scenes, Andres Linares. So we have a few announcements, I believe. So Divine,
We
Reverend
do.
Divine.
Now that we're coming back into the building, for those that choose to do that, I am curious as to things that we want to shift up a little. And one of those things is we do a Wednesday night meditation online. And I'm very curious as to how many people actually are interested in that or are interested in doing that in person. And the reason I say that is because we're putting together things to support what interests you. And so if it doesn't, then we need to move on to next things, such as a grief support group. And this has been something I've had on my prayer list for a while, that we have a in-house grief support group that will meet twice a month. I'm going to start that in July, so stay tuned in the newsletter weekly for the date and time. And for those of you that might just be only interested in something online as a support grief group, let me know that as well, because that is a trend right now that's very, very popular for so many folks. And I don't want to exclude anyone if that is something that you desire. So that I know is coming up. What else we got?
Well, we are doing in-person services here, and we have released the idea of having reservations needed. So we want to make this as easy for everyone, and we want to make it as comfortable for everyone, because everyone has a different comfort level. So we're still asking that folks wear a mask when they are in the building, and also to practice social distancing. We want to respect everybody's needs, and this way it gives us that inclusivity and includes everyone. Once you're outside the building, you're free to take your masks off, be closer if it's okay with the person that you're wanting to be closer with. It's again about respect. So that's what's happening here. We are having on June 27th, we are having a minister, not a minister. Well, she isn't a minister. It is our music. There was an M there. Our music leader candidate is coming in to showcase and audition and just to be with the community and do music live in the building. So we would love, love, love for you to either tune in, because she'll either be recorded on the on the line or in person, because we need your feedback. We want to know that it's a good fit. So I'm very excited about her being here. So please stay tuned. And if you can join us in any way and share your thoughts, that would be awesome. The only other thing that we've got happening in the moment is Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. There is something called Heart Talks. And the folks are meeting at Fossil Park here in Fort Collins, unless it's raining, and then there is an online Zoom link. But I don't know that it'll be raining. So you're invited to join that at any time. So I think that's it for the announcements. And I think it's time for some opening prayer. Yeah. So let's take a breath and let it go. Taking another deep breath in. And let it go. And we just take a moment to be in the silence. Notice the gentle rhythm of your breath. And as we become aware of that breath, it's the breath of life, the breath of love, intelligence, that is breathing me, that is breathing you, that breath of life that breathes all of creation. There's an energy, a power, a presence that is in all that is seen and all that is unseen. It surrounds us, it fills us, it flows through us, and in truth is us as well. That we come together as a community of divine beings here to remember who we are and to celebrate the gift of life that is intelligent, it is wise, that we are tapping in and tuning into that higher power, that divine love intelligence. We give thanks for this service today, knowing that the words that Reverend Divine speaks are coming straight from that which is the divine within her, with a message that we are opening our ears and opening our hearts to receive, because something is going to be said here today that will affect us in a positive, uplifting, shifting way. And so we welcome the word. We welcome the word and the inspiration from the music. We welcome the love that is beating in our hearts. We are grateful for all the things in this day, for the fathers, for the summer solstice, and for the freedom that is for all people in Juneteenth. So we give thanks, knowing this is an amazing day in every way. And we claim it and accept it for ourselves and for our world, as we say together. And so it is. And now I invite you to join us in our unity blessing, which will be up on the screen. And if you care to put your hand upon your heart, and we'll take a breath in as we speak this from our hearts, our unity blessing. And together, our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. And so it is.
And it is my great delight to introduce our music for today. You've already heard her a few different times, but it's always a thrill for me to introduce her. Our beloved Faith Rivera. And I'm blessed because I've had the opportunity to spend time with her. She is this amazing spirit and amazing light. From the sunny shores of Hawaii, Emmy Award-winning singer-songwriter Faith Rivera opens hearts and transforms lives around the globe through the power of music. Fans say her inspiring songs are like having your best friend who knows your biggest dreams and your biggest struggles, sing that perfect message right to you. And she does. She just released her 11th album, Rise, and her infectious hip hop music or pop music can be heard on shows like Hawaii Five-0, Empire, and ER. For Faith, love is the answer, and music is her way to spread love, one song at a time, one heart at a time. Walking the Talk is an ongoing adventure she happily shares with her young son and daughter and her hubby, who is her hubby childhood sweetheart from high school, by the way. Above all, her highest, biggest remains creating to share music, to celebrate that unique spark in everyone. Faith dares the world to be the everyday superstars we were born to be, each and every one of us. And she does the best at going in and touching our hearts. So thank you, Faith, for bringing your love and your aloha to us today.
I am a child of this universe. The ocean dances at my feet. The wind plays a melody through my hair. I am loved at every turn. I am kissed by Mother Earth. Yes, I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have a light for me in the sky. I am honored by all life. I am held by Father Time. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me. Oh, yes, I am a child of this universe. Through my breath, all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I can love at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth, yes. Yes, I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am the channel for peace to flow. Oh, I honor all of life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top, it sings of the glory of God moving through all
Happy Father's Day. My name is Lori Stark, and I'm a member of Unity of Fort Collins, and I would like to do the inspirational reading for today. I express my authentic self with confidence. There may have been times in my past when I believed I had to hide myself or pretend to be someone I wasn't just to feel accepted to fit in. Today, I realize I don't need to conform to anyone else's idea of who I should be because I know I am a divine being, a child of God, and I am everything I need to be. With boldness and quite confidence, I show up in the world as my true self to share openly and truthfully, to pursue my passions, and to express myself unapologetically. I face my challenges boldly. I need not shrink from daunting situations because I am endowed with love, strength, and wisdom of God, all aspects of my divine inheritance. I travel the path of my life with confidence. Be strong and let your heart take courage, all you who wait for the Lord. Psalm 31:24.
There are times in my life when I am stronger than I've ever been. There are times in my life when I believe I can't do no wrong. Oh, there are moments that yes, I can believe I am shining brighter. Sister, get up and believe and know that you can be. Brother, remember who you are. Be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, there'll be mountains to climb, more songs to sing, and tears to be cried. Ooh, there'll be moments of loss, moments of winning, a lifetime of love. If I just keep in my mind without any doubt that I am flying higher. Sister, get up, believe and know that you can be. Brother, you've got to know who you are. Be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Be strong and live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. This is your moment to rise up. You know the sun's coming out, your new life starting now. Can't keep you down, your spirit's rising. Oh, be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Be strong and live your life with passion. You've got to keep on and hold tight to surrender to the sun is shining through to your vision. Oh, don't you ever give up, no. Hold on to your vision.
Wasn't that song fantastic? Every time I hear her, whether it's something that's soft and sultry or super upbeat, my soul's always touched. Oh, just always touched. My title for my talk today is Leaning into Discomfort. Have courage. And the first thing I want to do is I want to read something as a tribute to fathers. This is an unknown author, and this is for anyone that has shown up in any way, whatever your gender, as a father. It is for the fathers, the grandfathers, the uncles, the brothers, friends, and sons. For the most important man in anyone's life, the one who gave us life. Here's to you. The dads who play endless games of go fish with their kids and always let them win. And those who always played to win every time, that their children would grow stronger through defeat. This is for the fathers who worked in the fields and factories, taught in classrooms, or sat in an office cubicle 8 long hours a day. Here's to those who performed life-saving surgeries and those who drove their truck through long days and nights. Here's to those who loved every minute of their labor and to those who only worked so their families could survive. To the sleepless dads who have waited in silent fear that their babies wouldn't make it through the night, or their teenagers survived their first time driving alone. Those who lost children and those who found themselves in a different way. Here's to tears not shed and hugs not given for fear of appearing weak. Here's to dads who built with hammer and saw and those who wouldn't know how. To fathers who were afraid of spiders and yet can slay the great dragon of fears for his little one. The fathers who tried and those who didn't. The fathers who gave us life and walked away. And those who stayed long enough, long past their life of their marriage, to give something to their children. The fathers who hurt because their children were kept from them, and those who were both father and mother. Stay-at-home dads and stay-away dads, the one we wanted but never knew. The helpless, hurting father, and the brave, strong one. And for all the ways of fatherhood, here's to you. And let's just be still and silent for a moment to breathe that in. I read that early this morning and I started to cry. And I hope that I got the tears out early so I wouldn't cry now. I loved the fact that it addressed all fathers in all forms. No judgment, just what it was. Because it allowed me to think about the relationship I had with my dad. And my dad's been gone for 6.5 years now. He's no longer on this plane. And we never had a solid, deep connection. Always seemed to be that we had a lot of differences. And he was one of the dads that chose to stay long after what worked for his marriage to take care of his kids in the best way he thought he could. And oftentimes that compromised any joy in his life. And he was one of the stay away dads as far as traveling for work. And I used to resent it and feel angry. But as an adult, I can understand why he did it, how he did it. And the sad thing is that now I would love to be able to talk with him and just share ideas and listen to his wisdom. And the beautiful thing is, I can do that because even though he's not physically here, it's almost as though there's no walls up anymore. There's no fear. And I can just talk out loud and I can almost hear him speaking back to me and giggling over things that used to seem like big issues that are nothing now. Today, June 20th, is my 7th year of being a minister. And I can tell you, there was a lot of leaning into discomfort through that process. A lot. And as a minister, there's continuations throughout the day sometimes of leaning in to discomfort, in having courage to go about something that I don't feel called to do, doesn't resonate with me, or I don't feel equipped to do, and on some level am supposed to. So when I say lean into discomfort, have courage, it doesn't mean that it has to be a lot of struggle and strife. It can just be something slightly awkward that we just kind of feel like, oh man, I missed the mark on that one. We take courage, take a breath in, shoulders back and smile and say, I got this. Because some part of us knows we do, and we can move forward. On Facebook, I had a lot of pop-ups for this week. This also was the week that at my former community, I had a celebration ritual ceremony celebrating my ordination into the science of mind teaching. And I listened to the talk I gave, giving thanks to everyone that through those moments of leaning into discomfort helped me along the way. And I thought about it with a lot of joy and a lot of pride. And now I'm on that path that is required to be an affiliate with Unity. So again, we're always growing, learning, and leaning into little pieces that don't feel comfortable. But here's the beautiful news. Let's let that be our teacher. Let's let discomfort and the need to be courageous be a teacher to us so that we remember, oh, I made it through that. We remember when challenging times occur, we've got that strength, we've got that wisdom, that courage to step into the next thing. And we've been speaking about strength this month. And courage is a piece of strength. So that's why I'm speaking about courage. I want to read a story to you. And this is another story that when I read it numerous times, each time I do, it's like a wave of, oh my gosh. And talk about leaning into discomfort and having the courage. So as I read it, it's a little lengthy, but I think it'll touch you, or I wouldn't really bother. So this is entitled, You Are Loved. So just be with that. You are loved. Me. Hello, God. God. Hello. Me. I'm falling apart. Can you put me back together? God. I'd rather not. Me. Why? God, because you're not a puzzle. Me. But what about all the pieces of my life that are falling to the ground? God, leave them there for a while. They fell for a reason. Let them be there for a while, and then you can decide if you need to pick them back up. Me, you don't understand. I'm breaking. God, no, you don't understand. You're transcending, evolving. What you are feeling are growing pains. You're getting rid of the things and people in your life that are holding you back. The pieces are not falling down. Take a deep breath and let those things you no longer need just fall down. Stop clinging to pieces that no longer are for you. Let them fall. Let them go. Me, once I start doing that, what'll be left? Only the best pieces of yourself. Me, but I'm afraid to change. God, I keep telling you, you're not changing, you're becoming. You're not changing, you're becoming. Me, becoming who? God, becoming who I created you to be, a person of light, love, charity, hope, courage, joy, grace, and compassion. I made you for so much more than those shallow pieces you decided to adorn yourself with and that you cling to with so much greed and fear. Let those things fall off of you. I love you. Don't change. Become. Don't change. Become. Become who I want you to be, who I created. I'm going to keep telling you this until you remember me. So I'm not broken? God, no. You're not breaking the darkness like dawn. It's a new day. Become who you really are. This is by John Rodell. We're always changing, and most of us want to cling to what we've known. We want to cling to it because it's safe. And even if it's uncomfortable, at least we know what it is. We know what to expect. I know that many of us in our life have stayed at a job way too long, that we just either outgrew it or we never even liked it. Or we stayed in a relationship that had long since served us well. Or we've had situations in our life that for whatever reason, the desire to stay in the known out of fear was better than being courageous and taking the next step and seeing what would unfold. What would unfold was the layers of who you are that are amazing, that are magnificent, that are who you came here to be. And it's natural to evolve. You know, if we don't have evolution, it's like stagnant water that's just been standing still for a long time. It starts to be funky. And so I know that this past year and a half, we have all gone through some amazing changes, some amazing opportunities to lean into discomfort and to have courage. For those of you that are extroverts, just having to not be around people was not working for your soul. For those of us that needed to have a change perhaps in our job because the dynamic of our job didn't work during the pandemic, how to interact with our kids, to learn how to work from home and homeschool. The list goes on how many things we got a chance to reinvent about ourselves that we didn't even know we had, or artistic or creative aspects of ourselves which we had put on the shelf forever. So we have been courageous. Oh, we have been just marching one day at a time, one thing to embrace and cope with at a time. And I want to give us all a major pat on the back, because some of us haven't even allowed that to come through yet. It hasn't not even reached us how much we have dealt with, we have struggled with, we have embraced, or that we came through in a totally brand new reinvented way because we let all those pieces fall to the side and we just had a chance to breathe and to tap in and to remind ourselves everything always changes. We cannot stand still. We can't. And I've heard for the longest, oh, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. We don't go backwards, my friends. We continue to either stand still or more naturally, courageously move forward. It's just how it works. Okay. And the reason I mention that is because now that we're coming back into form, we're coming back into our church community, many of us want it to be how we've always known it and said, this is how we do it. This is how we did it. Okay, COVID brought us many gifts, and one of them was to remind ourselves again, nothing stays the same. I cannot stress that enough to all of us. This past week, Reverend Liz and I attended Unity's annual conference, and we would have normally been at the Village, having our first experience there, meeting new ministers and colleagues. Instead, we had it in our living room, which was cool. We had some amazing guest speakers. And a few of the speakers that we had a chance to listen to were reminding us that because people have been away from church as they've known it for so long, many have either embraced being online and doing it virtually and said, oh, I like this, I can do this on my own time schedule. Many have said, oh, I don't like it that way. I don't feel called to do that. And some are coming back into our building. But in a sense, we are all rebuilding our community. We are all rebuilding because it's not going to look the same as it did. First of all, we redid the youth and family wing, and we redid the sanctuary to freshen it up and to remind us that change is always happening. We are having a new youth and family ministry program here at Unity of Fort Collins. We are having a new music director here. So we have so many newnesses of just how we're showing up on Sunday. And if you take a look around, if you happen to be, live in the building, you won't see the same people or the same number of people because not everyone feels comfortable coming back into the building yet. And one of the guest speakers that we had, his name is John Wimberly. He's a congregational consultant. He's a retired pastor. He had a community that was about 50 folks, about 50 to 60 years and older. And he built it into a 350 member community that had 2/3 of that 45 and under. Now, most congregations to this day, for the past few years, probably 5, have noticed a huge decline in their spiritual community. the size of their community, and people say, we need to grow our church. Look at the numbers, they're shifting. Well, they're shifting because people don't want to do church in the traditional way that they've done it. And this lovely man was able to build such a strong community of younger people because he listened to ideas that they wanted to do. He didn't try to build newness out of old thinking. Check this out. We cannot build newness and be courageous and move forward with old thought process, the way we used to always do it. We can't move forward because the age group of 50, 60 and up, we're accustomed to that's how church looks. Okay, that's what we're accustomed to. But anyone 40 and under, that is not what they are looking for. That is not what they are seeking. They are of a generation, which by the way, John Wimberly had said, we, the baby boomers, used to be the big group. We're the smallest group now, except for the little bit older than us. We are the smallest group. The largest group now in any form of membership in society is 40 and under. Okay, that's huge. And what that means is if we try to keep catering to the older group and what they liked and wonder why we're not getting positive results, it's because we're not broadening our thought process. And he was sharing with all of us clergy. He said, this is not just for unity. He says, I consult in all religious denominations. This is straight across the board. People are wanting to do things differently. The people 40 and under are building their careers, starting their families. Their time is precious. So to come on a Sunday and hang out is not how they like to do things. In fact, that was reinforced during COVID because everything was shut down and it just reconfirmed that's not how we want to do it. We like to be able to watch services on a different time and multitask, or maybe just set aside a sacred time that is when we watch services, but they like to do things a lot online. And we older folks, we're like, oh my God, if I go to one more Zoomer, I'm going to lose my mind. No, they like it. That's how they do all their interactions. They do it all virtually, or they do it all with different platforms of social media, because that's what they're interested in. They're interested in growing their spirituality by standing in a lot of areas of social justice and a lot of areas we called a no-no, a taboo in church. We don't talk about that, but they do. That's part of how they build their spiritual anchor. And they want to be part of a spiritual community that's in alignment with that. So we can smile and say, oh, we don't like to do things that way. We want to do it our way. But then I ask you, how are we going to utilize that beautiful brand new youth and family wing that we've put together and our new youth and family program that we are putting together? Got to be open at the top to new ideas. And that doesn't mean we're taking it away. It doesn't mean that for those that are older, we're not allowing you to still have your Sunday service the way you liked it by coming into the building. But it does mean that some of the talks might sound a little different than what you were used to hearing. May not always be happy, chirpy, feel good. Sometimes we have to kind of look at this stuff that's a little icky and address it. And you know why we address it at church? Because sometimes people that come to church come here because it's safe. It's the place they can come to and feel seen and heard and valued. And we need to be able to, all of us, if we love our community, expand, be courageous, and be available to things being a little different, to support those that are seeking that. which is why when we have our morning prayer, we're always saying that this is a safe space for people to experience whatever they need to experience. And sometimes people will hear something that touched them they had no idea about. So I'm asking you, community, to help me, and to help Reverend Liz to be open to ideas that just feel a little different so we can stay progressive and we can stay open and we can attract people that have continuously been seeking something we have to offer. It does not mean that our community will not be full of love and joy and fun. It just means that maybe we have some new ideas that they're adding we hadn't thought about. So with that said, I got to talk about something that I wasn't going to talk about. I really thought, don't go there. But on Friday, I was in Target and I was wearing my gay pride shirt that says, only love, not hate. And it showed a heart with pride colors. And this woman came up to me and she said, I love your shirt. Well, I don't know about you, but with COVID, I have been with my mask on, staying away from people. Normally, I would chat everyone up in the store. I'm always chatting with folks in the store. And I felt my body actually get tense. Like, okay, I have my mask on, like this wiring from the past year. But I felt in my core she wanted to talk to me. So instead of just smiling and saying thank you and darting off, I stood there and she wanted to share with me. And obviously there was something about me besides my shirt that she felt safe she could share. And she said to me, my son, well, he's actually transgender. He was my daughter, but at about 4, he became more and more clear that he was he. And I've done everything I can to foster him feeling happy and joyful in being who he is. And during COVID, it was really, really hard to find extra support available for depression, for anxiety, stress, or even possible interest in suicide for young people. And I definitely was grateful. I stood there and I listened to her and I gave her my card and I said, I don't know where this is going, but please hang on to the card and feel free to call me. But what she made me think about was I used to say things, and maybe you might have done it too. Oh, what do you kids have to be depressed about or anxious about? Maybe your parents even said, I'll give you something to cry about. What are you crying about? Well, if we were raised with that wiring, then we're also raised with the wiring that what do you have to be depressed about or anxious about? What do you mean you're thinking of killing yourself? You're 8. We're in a different time. And kids are experiencing different levels of depression and anxiety and just craziness that maybe we had in our generation, but we didn't pay attention to it. Maybe we just didn't because it was embarrassing and awkward, because the label, the umbrella mental health issues or mental health, which includes PTSD, depression, anxiety, and a list of others, bipolar, manic, whatever the list is, if anyone fell into that, that was awkward, it was embarrassing, it was even shameful to us, as if it was though, how could you bring this to our family? As if we could say, not my family. No, not my family. And I say that because I had a few relatives in my family who none of us understood it. I had a cousin who was bipolar and nobody understood that diagnosis. I don't even think she did because she was always medicating herself because no one knew how to treat that per se. And so she probably, when she passed away, died alone with no family because we ostracized her, because we felt embarrassed and awkward by her behavior. And I know that there's other people that we're maybe just listening in or sitting in that are thinking that you know someone in your family, a relative, a friend, a neighbor, coworker, perhaps yourself, struggling. Now, all of this has been prevalent, but it became really, really exaggerated during COVID because the most upbeat, perky person started experiencing a spiral of depression and not knowing how to cope with things. And we used to see on the news, crisis hotlines, if you're experiencing this, if you're experiencing that. Well, this woman informed me there wasn't really a large amount available for children. Anyone under 18, not so much. And I just thought about that and I thought, well, if there's that stigma that we are still carrying around, then if we're struggling ourselves, how are we going to reach out for help? We're not. So we see the rise of alcohol abuse, drugs, prescription and otherwise, and suicide and domestic violence, statistically off the charts. Now, we can't just turn our back and say, ugh, don't want to talk about it, don't want to look at it. Church, our spiritual community, is a safe haven for people to sit and contemplate what they may need. And my prayer is if anyone is listening and this touches you, that you feel comfortable enough to call Reverend Liz or myself, call the office and say, I need one of the ministers to call me, please, so that we can offer you love, support, and encouragement to take the next step, whatever that is for you. And I have to be the one to bring up touchy subjects sometimes, because you know what? Again, if I've reached one person and it served them well, or I made somebody super uncomfortable, that's okay with me too, because then you get to ask why you're uncomfortable. But I'm just looking at these things. These things were, by the way, some of our keynote speakers were speaking about, because they were educating those of us that were older in ministry, that we've got to speak about things that younger people, 40 and under, want to talk about. We just do. So I want to just ask you to contemplate if you are willing to walk down this new courageous adventure, to lean in to what might feel a little discomfortable, be uncomfortable, and walk this with me, with Reverend Liz. We walk it all together. And you know what? In doing so, we will be the love that this community is all about. We will be that love for people that have never experienced what that felt like. We will be that safe haven they can come to. And so I don't think I mentioned it. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I think I did, about my grief support group. I think I mentioned it. So please, if that is something that you have an interest in, and you see it through our weekly newsletter coming up with the dates and times, please reach out and let Julie in the office know your interest, whether it's in person, whether it's online, so that can be passed to me, because I don't want to exclude anybody. If we want to have separate groups that meet online and separate groups that meet in person, I feel as though after this COVID process, we are grieving a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with death. And at the same time, we're grieving death as well. Death of life as we've known it to be. So just another plug for that in case I mentioned it or didn't mention it. Sometimes I don't remember. On a silly lighter note, just a silly lighter note. If any of you watch America's Got Talent, 2 weeks ago, an amazing young woman by the name of Nightbird got up to sing. She's stage 4 cancer. Getting chills right now. She's stage 4 cancer, and singing is her greatest joy. And she wanted to be able to perform, and she might not be alive when the completion of this season on this episode comes about. But she said that rather than waiting to die, singing gives her hope, gives her happiness, gives her joy. And she wrote a song and she sung it, and it's called It's Okay. And it was about everything you could possibly think of that was really horrible in her world. And then she'd smile and say, and it's okay. And it was so powerful. What she said is, you cannot wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. I'm going to say that again. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. It does take a lot of courage to make change. It does take some discomfort to lean into that. But what if something amazing happens from it? Probably something amazing will happen from it. And the worst that's going to happen is you'll have said you tried it, you didn't like it. It's okay. So I thank you all for listening with an open mind and an open heart. Let some of this wash over you, process it, but make it okay. Make it okay. You're courageous. You can do this, and we can do it together. And so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Divine. What a beautiful message. Thank you, thank you. And it is that time in our service when we naturally want to give our thanks. And we do that in a tangible way through our tithes, our love offerings. And you can do that in many ways. You can drop off a check or mail a check to Unity of Fort Collins. You can go online and hit the donate button on the front page. It's a way to thank Spirit, to show one's tangible gratitude for all the things that we are blessed with every day. There are so many gifts that the universe brings to us, and it is our way to tangibly give back. And so we support one another. We support this community, which in turn supports you. It's the law of circulation. So if you care to join me now by placing your hands upon your heart, imagining that you have your offering in your hand, and perhaps you do, and that you would be sending it off with love. So we'll speak our prosperity blessing together. And together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion with drops in one ocean roll. Oh, will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and is calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all created. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Right now. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine. Yeah. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up when you day. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all created. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh, right now. Ooh, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world, one dream, one voice, one heart, one world. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all created. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all created. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Everybody, let's stand together.
Please join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Unity of Fort Collins, I am wishing you the happiest Father Day and just a beautiful Sunday anyway. It's always a joy for me to be here with you all the way from Hawaii. So enjoy this weekend. Enjoy this beautiful community of yours and this beautiful service. And we're going to end now with Holy Now, these fresh eyes ready to see everything and experience everything as holy because it is. When I was a girl each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Yeah. Everything. When I was in Sunday school, we will learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad, the miracle walk it with reverence, yeah. 'Cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now, yeah. Everything is holy now, yeah, yeah. Read a questioning child's face. Say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come. Say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood. I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me wonder about my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. 'Cause everything is holy now. Oh, everything is holy now. Yes, everything is holy now. Yes, every little thing, everything is holy now. Yes, everything is holy now. Yes, everything is holy now. Everything is holy
And now I'd like to offer a closing prayer. I give thanks for everyone listening, far and near. I give thanks for everyone's kindness and compassion and willingness to be courageous, just knowing that we're always moving forward in some way in our own life to create the goodness and the grandness and the joy and the laughter and the messy parts. We're moving through it so that we continuously emerge and evolve in the greatness and the love and all that we are here to be and to show up as. I'm giving thanks for us remembering that the piece that I read about pieces falling away, to remind ourselves nothing is broken. We are just coming out of the fog that has been lifted and stepping into the light that has been shining brightly forever and ever within our souls. We just take a breath and let that wash over us. I'm giving thanks for the music that has supported this message and touched your soul. I'm giving thanks for the opportunity for us to do church live and virtual. I'm giving thanks for the technology and Andres for making this happen so that we can be up to date and current in how we celebrate one another. And I'm giving great thanks in advance for cooperation to build this new version of whom we are together. So just letting it go and calling it good and very good. I trust and know that we go out into this day honoring the masculine energy, the father energy in each person, that we celebrate solstice if that's something that we celebrate, and that we embrace with great honor and dignity the legalization of Juneteenth and the sacredness of what that holiday represents. I call it good and very good. And if any of this resonates with you, would you please anchor it with me by saying, and so it is. Amen.